Hello, Libra. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Vision Quest Tarot by Guyan S. Winter and Joe Doze, which I'm probably butchering those names, but there they are in case you'd like to find this deck. That's the information you need. Supportive Oracle cards, Wisdom of the House of Night, and on the back here, above the barcode is who created those, so if you look those people up, you can find their information, their stuff, you know. So there you go for that. Let's put those over there. Libra. Libra. Oh, you got something coming from the bottom here. No, yep. Why do we have a bunch of... Well, let's see. You might have more cards from the bottom. I'm not sure yet. Alright, let's see what happens next here. These bottom cards, they have me wondering... Alright, so we have a mix of face-up, face-down cards. This is like... Alright, this is Libra. Right? Okay. Coming in, there's a lot of integrity and understanding and hearing and absorbing, and I get that. But what I'm getting in the very beginning of this situation is like, you were getting information, but I'm also thinking you didn't realize where it was going to be applied to. The Mother of Earth is face down. Like, it's almost like you were hearing, how do I explain this? Like, people were telling you odd things, or just like there's information or conversations going on around you, and people were talking around you, and then you got kind of pulled into a conversation or two, and you're kind of like, when it started, you were like, well, I'm not really a part of that situation, but I mean, I'm willing to help other people figure things out, I guess. I mean, why not? I can tell them what I think. Like, I can give them my opinion if they want me to. I mean, I don't see the problem with that. But with this being face down, I'm like, it was like, it was only a matter of time before you were pulled into this situation. But I'm getting honesty with listening. Like, you were hearing what was honestly happening is what I'm getting. And you were just telling what you basically thought because you weren't realizing you were going to be pulled into it. I feel like you were giving your honest opinion about something, but in the sense of like, not like you were going to have to deal with it later, just kind of like, well, you're telling me this and that's what I'm hearing. And this, you were just giving your honest opinion, not realizing you were going to get sucked into it. I'm really feeling that. Like, I don't think you realized you were going to get sucked into it. And in the very beginning, you got it's the Six of Water, which the Six of Cups, I don't feel bad about anything here. But I'm getting kind of like this merry-go-round feel. Like, it was fun. It wasn't bad. It feels like it was kind of like it was a pleasurable conversation. It was, but like it feels kind of like, you know, understanding it, just almost like a puzzle feel to it. You weren't invested. At this point, you were not invested. You did not realize that you were going to need to be later. I feel like you really didn't. And there wasn't any stress on it because it's kind of like, well, that's their problem. And they're telling me things, and that's what they have to deal with, but I don't have to deal with that directly. So, no sweat. No sweat off my brow, or whatever you want to say. No skin off my teeth. I don't know. That's a gross one. No sweat off my brow. We'll just stick with that. That's how this started. I feel like that's how you started getting involved with this. No idea. But, let's see, High Priestess of Air plus this, what is this, Eight of Water. Things were not going well. Things were not going well in this situation, but it didn't bother you because, again, you weren't invested in it. But I almost feel like you were giving ideas about what to do and how you would handle it and all this other stuff. You were just giving your 2 cents, no big deal. No big deal. And people are trying to make that happen. They're like, they took your advice and they were trying to make it move forward. And what was going on because of that? There's a lot more things going on because of this. Somebody's standing staunchly in the way. Like, somebody's like, just no, you don't know what you're talking about, no. And you're not dealing with this in the beginning. But this is why, like, you gave advice. You said, oh, if that's what's happening, this is what I would do. And somebody's like, that makes sense. That sounds smart. And they try to make this happen. And someone's like, no, no, not doing, no, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. The moon with complicated, whew, like, I almost feel like people are running circles around the situation. Like somebody else is trying to change things, move things forward based off your advice, friendly advice. And they're getting stopped at every turn. They're making it more complicated, more confusing. Like I feel like it's games. When it says complicated, I feel like somebody's making this confusing purposefully, especially with the moon right next to it. It's not a simple situation, but they're purposely making it look like a fun house, like a house of mirrors, like one of those feelings. Like they're purposely setting it up that way. Okay, and I noticed they have the moon with the high priestess of Earth. It may even be a little bit more complicated. They may not be physically right out there going no, but that's the feeling coming off of it, and they might be using a smoke screen to make that outcome happen, where they're not letting anything change, but they're using a smoke screen to make that happen. This is where you end up, like somebody's like, well, the Libra I talked to, they seem to think they know what to do, and they've handled things like this before. I wonder if there's a way we could pull the Libra in. Somebody's like thinking about, like, I wonder if we could get that Libra over here. I wonder if we could get that Libra involved, and maybe we could start making some headway with this. Somebody seems to think like you being a part of the situation is a good idea. And it's interesting because at first it's kind of like you're still off to the side. You have invisible with cycles with the father of air. All of this coming in at once. You're still like, you're getting more involved, but you're like, I don't really want to be involved, but if you want to tell me more stuff and tell me what you're seeing, I can try to help you work it out. I don't really want to get involved in this though. It's kind of making me laugh because it's kind of like, you can tell me what's happening, but don't bring my name into it. And I can tell you what I would do based on what you're telling me. I can try to help you. I can try to guide you in that sense. But I don't want to be right in it. I don't want to do that. Okay. You're giving a lot of good advice here is what I'm also getting. At this point, what is happening for you? You're starting to get invested in the situation. The Mother of Earth here in the past, it's like, I feel like the farther this goes, the more invested you're becoming. Like, it's happening. I feel like it's happening. You're staying off to the side with Invisible, but the cycle is telling me, like, the cycle is starting. You're starting to get pulled into it. It's helping. And I feel like that's where it's really starting to get you. Because your advice is helping, and you know it. Because you're getting the feedback that it is. You said that, you said this, you advised that, I did that. Here's what happened, and I'm very thankful. What else do you think? And you're like, well, what else is going on? You're staying one step away from it, which kind of relieves you of a lot of stress, but at the same time, it kind of makes you want to know more. It's kind of like that chocolate cake on the counter. You're like, I'll just have a little piece, but you're kind of like, but your eye on it, you're like, it's a really good cake, and I could really go for more. Just a little bit more, maybe. Okay, that's good. And you're like, maybe a little bit more. Maybe I just dip my finger in the icing. That's good. Like it's really like pulling you in. So you got these two cards here. What are they? The Ten of Pentacles and the Conclusion. Like, it's very interesting to me because I'm feeling this Earth, and I'm feeling like whoever is trying, like there was an Earth card here before, the High Priestess of Earth, which these cards, they're describing the energy. Somebody was purposely trying to hold it back. I'm feeling like this, you whatever the block was, who was ever holding it here, you moved it forward. It's like it was a stone door, and you helped open that door. Like the door is now open. People got together. It's coming together. Things are going better. Things are getting stronger. But I feel like this is actually saying it took a lot of strength for this to happen. But you gave people the way to do it, and it dislodged Earth. It moved Earth forward. It got things to go. in the Ten of Pentacles here, what are they using? They're using wealth. That makes sense for the normal Ten of Pentacles I know about. But I'm getting like there's a good change happening. And whoever was holding this together and whoever was holding it and keeping it from moving forward, they got moved. They got moved. Things are moving forward now. See, this is the thing. It's starting to become successful. It's starting to go better, and your influence is making it better. So, you're getting more and more invested in this. Now, the thing is, you got Medicine Man going forward with the Fragment. There's going to come a point where you have to decide to either do or don't. There's going to be this opportunity. Like, for some of you, I literally feel like it's like somebody's workplace, and you don't work there, and they're telling you things, and you're giving them advice, but there's going to be an opportunity for you to actually get a job at this place or to move into this situation, something like that. For others, it's different things, but literally you're not involved at this point. You're not directly in this situation, but you're getting the opportunity to be right in the middle of it. So the opportunity is coming in. Do you want it? Do you not? Medicine Man with the Fragment is like, at this point it's like, at this point you have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But think of it like two rowboats, and they're each going different ways. You got 1 foot in each. You either choose a boat and stick with it, or you go plunk into the water. Into the water, if I can speak. So you got to decide, like, am I gonna go one way or the other, or like, what am I gonna do? You have to choose, because you're not gonna plunk into the water. You're not gonna let that happen to you. But you gotta, like, am I gonna go into this situation and be a part of it, or am I gonna step out and just kind of like, you have to either engage and get right into it, or disengage and walk right away from it, because you're kind of straddling it here, and it's like it's not working. And you got to either be in or out at this point, because life is kind of pushing you, like, you don't have the time for it anymore for some reason, whatever that means. You got to choose. Whatever you decide, if you decide to become a part of this situation, whatever it is, if you decide to become a part of it, you might decide that you need to be. You might decide that it's very well worth it. Just realize you're also pulling in a lot of this. The Five of Fire, that's conflict. You're going right in, like, it says, what does it say? Stress, conflict, stress, whatever you want. I'm getting, this is going to become quite the situation. It's the Five of Wands. That's conflict. That's arguments. That's problems. That's a lot of commotion. It's not going to be just an easy sailing. It's not going to be easy sailing from here on out. If you decide to get involved with it directly, it's going to be a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of stress. It's going to be a lot of conflict. There's going to be a lot of arguments. It's not a simple situation. It's a lot easier when you're one step away from it. That's the heads up I think they're giving you. If you decide to get directly involved, that's cool. If you feel that needs to happen, that's your business. They're just saying it's not going to get any easier. It was a lot easier being one step away from it than you think. Like, being directly involved is going to be a lot worse. It's kind of like it's like outside the house, inside of the house. When you're outside the house, you can see what's going on inside, but you don't have to worry about it. It's like if there's a crazy cat running around your house, which I don't know where he is right now. It's like when you're outside the house, he can't get you. But when you're inside the house, he can get you. That's all I'm saying. So make up your mind if that's okay with you, if that's something you really want to deal with, if you think it's worth dealing with. I feel like that's your heads up. They're like, just remember, when you're one step away, it's a lot different than when you're actually in it. When you're right in the situation, it feels different. There's different things that have to be done. There's different ways to handle things. Just keep that in mind. All right, I think we're good. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.